Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. I am the Crypto Crow. I am pre-recording this, so you're going to get this tomorrow night. So we'll see what happens with Bitcoin between now and tomorrow morning when this airs. But I am I'm a little kind of on the fence about Bitcoin at the moment, to be quite frank with you. Been kind of going down a bit, and we had a bit of a battle here, and looks like the bears kind of won and push this. Then they're pushing the price further down. Now this is on a 4-hour candle. I suspect, if I'm to hazard a guess, I'm going to assume we're going to be going back up by morning. I haven't done any. This is just a hunch, just a guess. Okay, I haven't done any charting. I haven't done trend line. I haven't done anything. Okay, but just looking at the kind of the patterns and where we're at, and given the time, there is a video that I plan on doing in the future for those of you that are curious, because I see a lot of stuff about the halving. I see a lot of stuff about, how high will we go. I saw somebody requesting for me to do a video about how to exit, right? So once we start really hitting into, post-halving bull rally and things really start going, flying off the shelves and everything starts going silly, how do you exit? When do you know is the right time? And there are some indications, and there are some pretty clear indicators that define that. And I'm going to be doing a video on that. But furthermore, there are some questions that I have that I'm not sure I can calculate yet. Primarily being in that I would like to know how much more Bitcoin is being held onto by, institutions and this and that now. And there's an easy way of I guess there is a way to figure it out. So basically, I'm going to need to calculate the total transactional volume on every day right now, which I think last time I checked was around 3 million Bitcoin. Okay. So around 3 million Bitcoin right now are being traded constantly, and creating the market cap and everything else for everything that's being held. So what I need to do is I need to go back in history and see if I can figure out exactly how much Bitcoin was being traded on a regular basis back in 2016, 2017, compared to how much is held, right? Because I believe that moving forward, a much more substantial amount of Bitcoin is being held by institutions and investment, all sorts of different groups, as well as those who've caught on and are in the know and have been accumulating. And if I'm going to guess, that we're going to have less Bitcoin being transacted on a regular basis moving forward than there was back then, which is ultimately going to mean demand is going to be higher. As the bull run starts to go and the market starts to change, sentiment starts to come back, and people are starting to Google it and look it up all over the place, well, there's going to be a much bigger dash towards Bitcoin for people trying to get back what they lost before. And then all the additional people who have listened over the past 2 years and have been kind of poking and prodding and learning a little bit about it. And as soon as those headlines start, there's going to be a much higher number of people trying to get into the Bitcoin market than there were in the previous bull run. And the price action is going to be dependent on a much lower supply, a lower transactional supply, which I think is what's going to help drive the price even further. And I haven't done those calculations. I will end up doing a video about it in the near future. So subscribe and show me some love. Give me a couple likes, and I'll always love reading comments under the video. I love the comments down there. They really do make my day, especially if I'm having a rough day and I just push forward and I do a video and I'm like trying to educate everybody. I love going back through and reading the comments because there's a hell of a lot more support and appreciation there, and it really is what helps drive me. It really, really is, because there's nothing else. So there's no paid content. There's nothing that's been happening for quite a while. So it really is just your appreciation that really kind of makes it all worthwhile. So thank you. Rolex 23, Polly P. There's so many of you guys that have been supporting me since the very beginning, and it really does mean a lot. And I think about you guys often. So getting down to the nitty-gritty, what we're going to do is, so the title of this video is turn $5,000 into $100,000 by the end of 2020 or 2021. Boy, that's kind of a tongue twister. And this isn't a bait and switch. This isn't a clickbait video. This is nothing like that. But what I want to try and do is I want to preface this video, even though I have my disclaimer, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not telling you to buy anything. I'm not telling you to risk anything. I'm not giving you financial advice. I'm just some dumb guy on the internet. I wear glasses so I look smart, okay? But you really do need to take what I present to you in this video as some guidance for you to do more research and to better understand what's happening in the market. All right. I'm not going to say that anything that I project in this video is actually going to happen. It may or may not. I have my own beliefs on what I think is going to happen in the market, which is why I'm doing the video. But nothing is a guarantee. Anything could happen between now and then. So anything you invest in the cryptocurrency space is a risk, and it doesn't matter how amazing the project appears to be. Okay, I want to make sure that's abundantly clear. You know, and what happened in the past does not guarantee that it's going to happen again in the future. I think a select number of projects are going to do exceedingly well as we head further into 2020 and into 2021. And some of the projects that we really liked may not do as well as we had hoped. So we just have to kind of wait and see what plays out. But I'm going to try and give you guys some really cool tips and things on what to look for when you're researching these altcoin projects to better arm you with an idea as to where you might put your money if you were to do so on your own merit or whatever, volition. All right. So here's the deal. These are just 6 projects, okay? These are not, by any stretch of the imagination, like the best projects out there. It does not mean, like, I'm just basing this off of 6 projects that I think are ultimately very likely to do well, okay? And, but we'll see. We don't know. However, I'm going to break it down for you because I get a lot of people, when I talk about crypto, especially to friends and people I know, I hear the same question a lot. Okay, Jay, what if I had $5,000? I just threw $5,000 into the crypto market. What can I do with that? What could happen? All right. Well, I personally believe, and I am of the opinion that you could literally turn $5,000 into $100,000. Okay. And I'm going to explain some bits and pieces as to why and how the numbers add up. Now, of course, Cardano's in this list, but I'm going to save that one. I'm going to go to Aeon first. Okay, now, a lot of you guys know, if you've been watching me for a while, a lot of you guys know I built a 6 GPU mining rig specifically to mine Aeon. And I may end up getting to setting up a staking node as well. My Cardano node, the Crow node on Cardano, is blowing up. I mean, we've already capped out at over, we've already reached a milestone of like 34.5 million Cardano delegated to our testnet node. Mainnet's going to be ridiculous. Our gains have been really, really good. People are exceedingly happy. People are moving to us from other pools where they're not doing so well. And I really do have to thank Jason Lee. He's my developer for a couple of different projects. He's freaking genius and he's a workhorse. And we've got some really cool, exciting things coming. But, you know, I didn't set up my node. I got my guy to set it up because he's a hell of a lot smarter than me when it comes to a lot of this technical gobbledygook and programming. But anyway, Aeon is a project that's all about interoperability, which I still think is going to be a pretty significant issue moving forward, especially as a lot of the cream rises to the top in the next bull market. And it's something that I really speculated on. You know, I built this rig really, and I thought, well, you know what, I could mine Ethereum or I could mine Aeon, right? Aeon's original all-time high was right here. It was $10.53 at its peak. Okay. Since then, it's come down to as low as 4 cents. All right. Since it hit its low, it's came back 164%. All right. So it's gone up 164% since its low of 4 cents, because right now it's at 12 cents, closing in on 13 cents. Now, if I were to buy, and again, and I will tell you this, I would never just take $5,000 and dump it all into one project. okay? Which is one of the reasons why I'm giving different examples of things that I might consider going into, but I would absolutely diversify, whatever the case. Even if that was like I went into 5 projects with $5 grand, okay? If I were a newcomer, because there's one project in particular right now I'd have no problem at all dumping $5 grand into, but I'm not even going to say what that is. So anyway, $5,000. If I were to put $5,000 into Aeon right now at 12.5 cents, that would get me 41,666 Aeon. If, and only if this were to go back to its original all-time high, the break-even multiple between where it's at now and its original all-time high is 84x, which equates to, you ready for this? $438,000. $438,750. Okay? Now, the thing of it is, and this is something that I think everybody really needs to look at, when you're looking at altcoin projects, you want to make sure that A, their real trading volume is no less than 1 million. You're going to see OMG, and I think it's partially because it's priced, where the price is according to other altcoins in the market. OMG's at 95 cents. It's down from an all-time high of 28 freaking dollars. Okay? Now, Aeon has almost $7.5 million a day in trading volume, which is actually really good given where it's at. So people are using it. People are trading it. There's a lot of stuff happening. There's some activity with it. Furthermore, the Flipside FCAS grade, that gives it a B. Flipside CEAS rating is a 706. And Token Insight grade is giving it a CCC. Okay, fair enough. Now, you've got some other things like transactional volume adjusted. Some of this data, unless Aeon paid Marassi, as I understand it, I don't think that they paid these guys, so they're not getting all of their data over here. But one of the biggest indicators for me is their coding. What kind of development are they doing on the project? They're really cranking out some work. 6,242 lines of code added over the last 90 days alone, with 118 commits over the last 90 days. Okay, so these guys are hard at work. And that tells me that the trading volume, everything that because in the crypto projects, in the crypto world, one of the biggest sellers of a crypto asset is sentiment. Well, what are some of the things that produce a high sentiment? Well, development milestones, development cycles, partnerships that spawn new development, things like that. Progress of the project, the establishment of new use cases. That is what gets people excited. And so I always look at GitHub commits because I want to see what is the project doing, how are they developing, how many lines are they adding, how many commits, how active is the team? Well, in Aeon's case, it's pretty active. So for me, I'm still mining Aeon. Now, at 12 cents, do I think that it's going to reach its original all-time high of almost $11? I don't know. But what I do think is at $438,000, it doesn't have to. All I'm really worried about is whether or not it'll go up to 100 grand. If I can make 100 grand off of that $5,000 investment. It's possible. There are other factors that go into these calculations as well, though. Obviously, you're looking at liquid supply. Liquid supply really isn't that high in comparison to a lot of these other projects with the much larger market caps. So, it's not going to take as much for Aeon to rise up as some of these other projects might. Okay? Now, so we got Aeon out of the way. It's something that I personally believe in. I've always been very bullish on it. I'm looking forward to seeing some of the big interoperability, some of the interoperability momentum with Aeon and other projects moving into the future. Let's take a look at OMG. Okay, OMG actually looks pretty good. The problem is that it's almost $1 still. Okay, the volume is actually kind of low. I mean, for a project with OMG's age and what's going on, the fact that its all-time high was $28, the profit potential here is decent, but the fact that the volume is so low currently does bother me a little bit. Reported market cap of $133 million. It's just not that much. To me, while there's some profit potential here, I want to see more coming out of the OMG camp. The market, the break-even multiple is only 29. Okay, the cycle low was 51 cents. It's only gone up 65% since it's a low. So what does that tell me? Well, that tells me that there's some belief still, there's momentum, there's activity, it's going up, and it's going to continue going up with the rest of the market. It's just not going up as much as I would hope. There isn't a high amount of sentiment right now around OMG. They need to get things together. They need to start coming out with some more stuff. 411 active addresses right now. So, and what does that mean? That means that over the last 24 hours, basically, 411 addresses that were carrying OMG did something with it. That's all that means. It's a good indicator to a certain extent, but 411 is just not that much. $890,000 in transactional volume off of those 411 wallets. So there's just not a lot of activity going on right now. But if you're interested, look deeper into the project. That's the whole point of this. 594 transactions. Okay. I'm seeing no GitHub, no developments on the project, which to me, you know, while the profit potential is it could be there, you know, max supply, again, it's not that high. I think OMG is likely going to move up. It's probably going to do okay. But if I were to invest $5,000, that would get me 5,263 OMG tokens right now. And if it were to go back to its original all-time high, I'd be looking at around $149,000. Okay, but you know, let's just say give or take. I don't really see OMG. I don't know. I really don't know. I want to believe it's going to skyrocket and come out with a bunch of news and a bunch of good stuff, but I don't necessarily know that's going to be the case. But again, all-time high that could potentially yield. And here's the thing. You know, some of these projects could completely flip everything on their head, and they could far exceed their original all-time high. It all depends on what happens in the market. Just as I said at the very beginning of this video, you know, the changes in Bitcoin, how many people are holding versus how many people are trading? What's the transaction? What's the trading volume like? You know, those kinds of numbers are important. And depending on how much profit is made in Bitcoin, over time, as people are making more profit, they start dumping their Bitcoin profit. They're going to dump it into the altcoin market because the break-even multiples alone are ridiculous. So it's a no-brainer. So the question is going to be, how many times is OMG going to come up in that conversation? And those are the things that we really need to learn. And so as we move forward and market sentiment turns around, it's a matter of watching these numbers, seeing what changes, and just keep track of the ebb and flow. And again, I want to say this. There are a lot of other projects out there that could very well do insanely well, okay? There are new projects and older projects. There's all sorts of stuff. I just picked 6 that I'm kind of familiar with, okay? As kind of a demonstration as to what is possible. That's all this is. I'm not saying people are going to, well, what about this and what about that? And you didn't talk about this. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean that I don't think they're going to do well. Okay, so don't read into it that much. But anyway, that's OMG. Here's one that I think a lot of people are kind of like, well, you know what? Let me go into. All right. So the final 6-figure expectation one, the one that should it reach its all-time high, you know, putting $5,000 into it now could definitely yield $100,000 in profit between 2020 and 2021. It's Cardano. Okay. And here's the thing about Cardano. My personal belief in Cardano is it's going to far exceed this $1.33 all-time high. With a 23x break-even multiple right now sitting at 5 cents, it's at 5.5 cents. if I bought $5,000 worth of Cardano right now, that would get me 89,285 ADA. Okay. Not only would that 89,285, once Shelly and Gogan and all that launches to mainnet, the incentivized testnet is kaput. It's done. We go mainnet. We're into the Haskell code and everything else. You'll be able to stake that ADA and make anywhere between 10 to 15% ROI annually, just basically by minting new tokens. All right, because Cardano's going proof of stake, which is fantastic. So that 89,285, you could potentially add, let's just say 12% in addition to the 89,285, but I'm not even calculating that. And if it were to go back to its original all-time high of $1.33, you're looking at $118,750. I personally believe we're going to double that original all-time high. Between 2020 and 20, I do. Likely 2021 for double, but I could see us reaching the original all-time high in 20. It could happen within 6 months. That's my honest opinion. It could happen. So, Cardano is legitimately my #1 favorite project ever. Just hands down, everything about it, I absolutely love it. But again, that doesn't mean you should run out and buy a whole bunch of it just because I like it. All right. I don't want you guys investing in any damn thing I talk about just because you think I like it. That doesn't necessarily mean I'm right. I've been wrong. Okay. I just don't personally think I'm wrong about Cardano. So there you have it. Now, couple here, I guess you could say, are kind of runners up. Tron. If I were to invest $5,000 into Tron right now at $1.89, actually, it looks like it just ticked down a bit since I wrote this because I have it at 0.0192. It would get me about 263,157 Tron tokens. Its original all-time high was 30 cents. All right, a 15x multiplier. We're looking at $78,947 if it goes back to its all-time high. Right now, just based off of that little dip, you're probably at over 80 grand at this point. It looks like it's dropped down to 0.18 instead of 0.19. The difference probably make you to 80 grand. And then, I didn't even talk about this one. I don't know why I circled it. It was the wrong one. Couple others, obviously. So Ripple. Ripple, if I were to buy into Ripple right now with $5,000, you get about 20,000 Ripple tokens. XRP, sorry, community. At all-time high, that's $76,800. Okay? Stellar Lumens at 6 cents. Did that drop? Yeah, still 6. 83,333 tokens right now for $5,000. Well, if it goes back up to its all-time high, you're looking at $77,500. And that covers that. So here's the thing, when you are, so this website that I'm using, it's Messari.io. I'll copy it and paste it here so you can see it. I'll put it right here. There. Messari.io. That's the website I use just to get some of this blockchain data. And, there's so much to look at. If you're seriously considering going into altcoins, okay, let's say you're new, all right, maybe it's, oh wow, $5,000 to $100,000. What's Crow talking about? Who's this Crow guy? What's he about? Can I trust him? Can I believe anything he says? You'll have to let the comments below tell you, fill you in on that. I think I have a pretty good history. However, like I always say, don't buy anything just because I like it. Don't buy anything just because it sounds great, okay? The fact of the matter is that there's a significant potential for people that are getting into the market now with fiat currency and converting it into Bitcoin and then buying their altcoin projects. You're probably going to do very well over the next 2 years, okay? Because every dog is going to have its day in the crypto market moving. Now, there are thousands of altcoin projects. These projects are important for this demonstration because they're all very well rated. They are all getting development support regularly. I mean, look, Stellar Lumens, 12,307 lines of code. Tron, 61,222 lines of code added in over 90 days. The only thing about Tron that I don't like is that I feel that some of their tactics are a bit shady. They try to make themselves look much bigger than they ultimately are. And a lot of their dApps and applications and things like that are a lot of casinos and things where people are trying to win more Tron. And I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with it, but I'm saying in terms of general real use case, Tron to me is still a little lacking. I believe it's going to do well because they're insanely well funded. I mean, they've got BitTorrent now, and they've got all this stuff going on. They've got a ton of stuff. But my point is, look these things up on Twitter. I use TweetDeck. It's not in this browser. But I use things like TweetDeck, and I add all of these projects to my TweetDeck so that I have columns of news. Actually, go. All right, I do have it. So, oh yeah, and shout out to the Cardano effect. One of my viewers notified me, let me know you guys were just mentioned me a little bit as a big Cardano supporter. But you'll see here, I've got, this is Tron. And this is every time Tron puts out something or something is flagged Tron, I can see it, okay? And this enables me to kind of stay up on what's happening. I've got Ontology, Basic Attention Token, Celsius Network. This is just how I can keep track of everything going on, and I know who's dead, who's dying, and who I think is really building. OMG, this is a day ago. For our first AMA of the year, we invited our CTO and CEO to respond to community questions around audits, business adoption, public release of the OMG network. That's the kind of stuff I want to see. I want to see active communities. I want to see that these projects are still pushing forward and doing things. Mainframe. What the hell has happened to Mainframe? October 2019. Like, I need to do some diving into Mainframe and find out, did the whole team, like, what happened? Like, where are these guys at? Dent, even though they're rated really low, the profit potential for Dent based off of its current pricing could be pretty significant. And they are building. But the way that their tokenomics and things work and the fact that there's so much supply, it's kind of kicking them in the face a little bit. So we'll have to see what happens with Dent moving forward. Matrix AI. I really like Matrix AI. It's going to be really big, I think, in Asia and in the whole Belt and Road and all the stuff that they've got going on. But they're still out there pumping. They're still talking about everything that they've got going on 3 days later or 3 days ago. Neo is going to be, I mean, let's face it. There's going to be a lot of stuff. Neo and Ontology I'm looking at direct competitors in a lot of sense. Utrust is one of those projects that I think is a much more longer term than a quick pump. But I do believe that they're going to do well in the next bull market because they're still around. They're still putting stuff out. And like, let's face it, it took PayPal, 3 to 5 years to do much in anything. Everybody's like, PayPal, what the hell is this? And eBay, I think ultimately is what really helped PayPal get popular. Utrust needs to find something like that. Utrust really needs to find a catalyst, or build it themselves, or partner with somebody, some sort of e-commerce, massive e-commerce type solution where everybody's using Utrust. Maybe we can build that on Cardano. Who knows? But that's definitely something that I want to see happen. Aeon, 3 days ago. Matt Spoke. I think Matt Spoke just got married, so congratulations, sir. I know that we've talked about doing a live AMA in the past, and we will likely do that at some point. Pork Chain, Phantasma, it goes on and on. Dragon Chain. Dragon Chain, I really wanted to add Dragon Chain to this little demo, but the reality is that the volume is so low for Dragon Chain. but they are actively working on their own social media platform. And I've discussed the business model about that platform with some of the people there, and I think it's got some legs. I think that Dragon Chain may surprise some people over the next year. But until they do, the volume is low. There's a big lack of interest, and I'm just not seeing a lot of hype. I want to see more from Dragon Chain. That's definitely a big deal. Go Chain, again, they just posted 4 hours ago. Cool. Why we need central bank stuff. Travis is one of the developers. Guy's brilliant from what I gather. Go Chain is doing a lot of big things, but they would bounce off of me. Jason, the CEO, would come to me like, hey, we've got all this stuff coming. I promise your, exclusive interview. We're going to talk all about it as soon as we're ready. And then it's been months. You know what I mean? And it's like there've been a couple little press stories about, their relationships and what they're doing, testing everything in the United Arab Emirates. And it's all big stuff, but they're just very hush-hush about it. And I think until they get through kind of the testing and firm decisions and final agreements have been done, I guess there's not much they can say. A lot of people are like, when Go Chain? What's happening with Go Chain? But I'm only able to say what I'm able to say. That's the thing that sucks. Even if there are things that I know about a project, but they've asked me, hey, do not talk about this on your channel until we're ready. It could really hurt a deal, this and that. I won't say it. I'm not going to ruin my relationships with people to let stuff slip, even anonymously through social media, none of that, because I don't want to hurt any of these projects. The list goes on. You know what I mean? Monarch token. Monarch's always building on their platform. I think Monarch token's going to do well. Open platform, I think, is crap. I think that's dead in the water. They're posting, but we've just provided an update on our planned token burn. I mean, that's all cool, but I have not seen. There's a lot of weird stuff that's been going on with Open, and I haven't been able to get a lot of details. I hope that they turn around and they're doing some good stuff, getting ready for the new bull run, and they're going to release some cool stuff, but I'm just not sold on that yet. I want to see more momentum from them. Rewards token, absolutely one of the worst ran ICOs and projects I've seen. I mean, I'm so upset and frustrated with Rewards token that I've actually sent some fairly unfriendly messages to the CEO, and he's just saying, we've got big stuff coming. We've got big stuff. This is going to be a big year for us. But I don't buy it. I think it's bullshit, to be quite frank with you. I could be wrong, but these guys moved their entire website to another domain and didn't even bother redirecting their ICO domains, none of the other domain names. They didn't even bother redirecting them to the new site. The last I checked, the community's frustrated, everybody's pissed off. It's just kind of a cluster. And I don't know how they plan on pulling out of it. But so far, Rewards token may have some problems moving forward if they don't get their shit together and they need somebody to help clean up a lot of this mess. I mean, the fact that it's been since August 2019, and there's been nothing, really blows my mind. Ripple, obviously, nothing's going to stop Ripple. I mean, there are a lot of Ripple haters, but Ripple has a huge community, and I went through and I read a lot of the stuff that they have going on and what they're building and why they're building it and this and that. And it's going to be some powerful stuff that I do think is going to it's going to help the industry quite a bit. So, I mean, that's that. Let's see, where's Bitcoin at? Yeah, that's it. So anyway, that's that. I just wanted to kind of let everybody know, look, this is kind of what I look at. These are the things that I go through when I'm looking at altcoin projects. And, yeah, I mean, you can potentially turn $5,000 into $100,000 and quite effortlessly, provided the market agrees with you and the project consistently pushes forward, makes new developments, and builds up a lot of hype and continues to build up their sentiment. And there are a lot of other projects out there. I'm not going to sit here and go through them all tonight, but I mean, overall, Coin Paprika is giving me a 500 error. Alrighty then. Never seen that before. So let's see what's happening. There's CoinMarketCap. So anyway, these are the top, what is this? The top 100. These are the top 100 altcoins right now in the market. And you can go through, you can see how they've acted. It's funny because during a parabolic run up, all these graphs look the same. They're all going up. They're all going up. They all kind of look like this one. Tezos has been having a pretty good time. But, you know, a lot of times they match Bitcoin. So we're going to get to that point again at some point in the future. But ultimately, these are good opportunities, man. I mean, I don't know what else to say. Hopefully this was helpful, but do your research. You know, you can, between the information presented on CoinMarketCap or CoinPaprika, TweetDeck, Masari.io, as well as other resources, you should be able to establish a pretty decent educated guess as to what might happen with any particular project in the market. And there's definitely going to be a lot of money to be made. I believe that 2020 in 2021, dare I say, it's going to be the year of the new millionaires, because I believe that a lot of people have been accumulating through this bear market. A lot of people who have been watching YouTubers, watching these videos, doing their own research, educating themselves. They haven't just snubbed it because the market crashed at the end of their Bitcoin's 4-year cycle. We're in the midst of a new cycle, and it's going to be very interesting to see. I'm personally getting excited about it. And let's face it, honestly, if you're kind of like, you know what, Crow, I want to be able to trade in and out of these positions, but I don't know really how to do a lot of that stuff, this is going to be a really solid option for you. A nice, fun plug, if you will. If it loads soon, I don't know, is my internet slow at the moment? There you have it. So right now, this is Crow Trader, algorithmic crypto trading bot. Currently, you can trade on Coinbase Pro and Binance. There are going to be new exchanges added in the future. Getting ready to launch beta build version 15. And then after that, we're going live with the first final full-blown launch. And once we've launched that, you're going to see me doing a lot of consistent videos and how-tos, how to use the bot, how to set it, all sorts of stuff. 6 powerful strategies. You know, this is a video, a little promo video that talks about it. But yeah, that's basically what it looks like. It's very easy to use, and believe you me, I'm going to be using it. So, you know, check it out, crowtrader.com. I would suggest, if you're interested in getting into bot trading, you're going to want to buy it before Bitcoin really goes crazy, because it's like, I don't even remember how much it is, 0.5, 0.05. Yeah, it's 0.05 Bitcoin. So when you go to pick it up, that 0.05 Bitcoin is going to be a lot cheaper today than it's going to be when all the press and media and everybody's talking about bull run, bull run, bull run. And, you know, Bitcoin gets 20 grand, 30 grand, whatever. And then you're like, hey, I want to trade in and out of altcoins because Bitcoin's kind of surpassed its all-time high. And now some of that profit's going into the altcoin market. The volatility is going crazy. This is the prime opportunity to do some bot trading. And you're not doing it because you're like, wow, 0.05 Bitcoin, that's like $5,000 now or whatever it is. So plan ahead. Even if you were just to buy some Bitcoin now, sit on it until you need it. And once you decide you want to get into Crow Trader, you'll have an opportunity without having to buy into it with fiat into Bitcoin. Okay. So, and I do believe in Crow Trader. It does work. We have a community. We have a lot of stuff going on. Join the Telegram community. There are links, I'm sure, probably right on the homepage somewhere. Yeah. So we've got all these little social media links. You can join this one right here, and it'll take you right to the Crow Trader Telegram. There are 263 members in there right now and 20 online. And this community is off the chain. These guys are always helping each other. Everybody's trying to help each other with settings and strategies and all sorts of fun stuff. So check it out before you get the bot. And if you feel comfortable, pick it up and have some fun. Until next time, guys, crow your coins. Hopefully this is helpful to you, and I'll see you again real soon. Have a good day.